Okay, so here is the TEDx talk. First of all, I will show how it was edited down to less than 2 minutes. Here, the gray area is where are parts of the original that were cut, beginning, middle, and towards the end. So lots of cuts here to make this much longer video down to less than 2 minutes. So watching the video from a student's perspective, we'll start here.
And let me say 2 things that we need to do to make our learning live performance. First of all, we need to dare to give our young people some choice, some say in what or how they learn. And secondly, we need to make that learning connect with the real world outside the classroom door.
So here is my first audio note. And as a side note, I would use this video in a teacher training or coaching session. Before moving on, think about a real world problem you have worked on at school and apply the following benefits as you think about that real world problem. So that's just to get teachers thinking about any problems or problem-based learning activities they've done with their students and how that would apply to what Pete Pattison has to say.
If we don't do that, we're going to have a generation of young people who are detached from reality and don't feel they can change the world around them.
So my next audio note is as follows. Do you agree with his statement that education that does not include real world problems will create a generation that is detached from reality? Be prepared to talk about this in class. So I thought he's making some pretty grand and dramatic statements. I would be interested in having that discussion with fellow teachers about whether they agree or not.
Now, let me give you a simple model for how we might do this. You see, the majority of learning today takes place in the top left-hand square. It's teacher-led and classroom-based. And what we're trying to do is move learning down into the bottom right-hand square so that it's student-led and community-based.
So here's a question. It's not an audio. Think of the classes you took last year. Were they teacher-led, classroom-based, or student-led, community-based? And this would just, if this was in for teachers who've had professional development lessons or getting back to their masters, they could think on that. Or teachers, the classes they actually taught. So I'm going to say teacher-led, classroom-based. Seems to be the majority of the types of classes I have taken and taught.
There's 3 big benefits of this approach. Number 1, it passes what I call the M&M test. It's meaningful and it's manageable. I'm just an ordinary teacher. I teach in an ordinary school, but I think this is something that every teacher in every school can and should do.
Okay, give an example of a project that would pass the M&M test. So that would be meaningful and manageable. This is where teachers could think about, again, some PBL activities that they did that were meaningful and manageable. Let's say one I've seen, lemonade stand. Okay.
Number 2, when you take this approach and make learning real, it has a powerful impact on motivation. Because when you have a say in what you learn, and when you can see that it's linked and relevant to the real world, your engagement with it takes off. And we don't talk about motivation enough in our classrooms. I heard the third benefit of making learning real, is that it empowers young people as agents of change. Young people who can identify problems in their community and bring solutions to those problems. It gives them the knowledge, the skills, and the confidence change the world around. Learning for
So here's the multiple choice question. Which word is not included in the 3 elements of a real life education? Talked about meaningful, yes, manageable, motivating, engaging. The one that they did not talk about was collaborative.
for real really does is it helps young people to know, but more importantly, it helps them to care and to care enough to change the world around them. And I believe that is what education is all about.
So here's my last audio note.
Do you agree that education is all about changing the world? Be prepared to discuss that at our next class.
So once again, I think that would be a provocative topic. Pete Pattison makes some, again, very grand and dramatic statements. Is education about changing the world? I'd love to have that conversation.